I mean, she was looking like a little dumb, to be honest, with like her fingers, like her finger and her thumb, both in the shape of an L, just right there on her face. It's like dumb, you know? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We're going to talk about 5v5 defensive teams, and we're doing something a little different today. I have an offensive teams video as well as usual that I'm releasing at the exact same time, so you can find the link to that in the video description. You can watch both of them back to back if you'd like. And what we're doing today, I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my middle account. I have 3 different accounts. One is a pretty big account with all the toys, all the relics, everything, and honestly, it's got a lot of teams that people just can't really use and they can't approach themselves. And so I'm going to show you my 9 million account, which only has 3 Galactic Legends, but I'm hanging out in Kyber 2 very comfortably. I'm beating people who have all the Galactic Legends, and so I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you just a few different more advanced teams that can also go on defense and everything, and you know, that are from my main account. So hopefully you get the best of both worlds a little bit. I'd welcome feedback. I don't know if this is going to end up being like a really strong way of doing things, to be honest, but I thought I'd try it, because why can't we try new things, guys? Thanks to all my patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly appreciate every single one of you. Well, one of you I don't. One of you, no, you're all great. Guys, please help me mount the algorithm by liking, subscribing, commenting, spreading the good news about the algorithm. Our Lord and, no, not our Lord and Savior, but something approaching that. Not even approaching that. I don't know what I'm going for here, guys. Let's, before I make too much more of a mess, let's go to the game madness. We've got some defensive teams here, guys. And remember, this is on an account that's at 9.3. We only have 3 Galactic Legends. What do you do in that circumstance? And remember, we have the Datacrons that are 15% extra health and protection for all the different characters on the squad, if they're light or dark. And so the Java kind of accentuates that. They just fixed those crons so that it only applies to light or dark. And you want the Datacron that makes Java and Chrysanthemum thicker. So you want the dark side version of that cron, and you still want really high defense if possible. A lot of relics if you can. Throw the Omicron on Boosh. No, that doesn't help. But you want this squad on defense. Probably, I think people are going to really struggle against it, at least on some levels, because, I mean, they're already struggling on Java, frankly. But with the thick cron, with the defense set, you know, or with the high defense as your secondaries, the squad's going to be really good on defense. I've been putting Java in the back zone because people just either have to save their really good stuff and use their worst stuff in the front, or they use their good stuff in the front and can't beat your Java in the back, because there's a very limited, selective few number of teams that can actually beat Java. So really good defensive team. Obviously it does well on offense too, but the thing to keep in mind, guys, for my defensive philosophy for my main account, I'm like, yeah, let's just put a ton of Galactic Legends down. We'll do off meta all the time. On this account, it's very similar because we only have 3 Galactic Legends. I'm only putting 1 Galactic Legend down, and then I need a couple to be able to kill the things on offense. But the idea is for defense on my main account, it's just really obnoxious. All 11 teams really, really strong. On this account, on this not baby, but the smaller account, what I'll do is I'll put a very strong bottom zone, and then I'll put Java in the back, and then the rest of the teams are a little bit, I don't know, some of them are just pushovers, if we're just being real honest. It's just, I can't afford to have a ball-busting defense that can also full clear my opponent with one shot, because we're playing mostly efficiency on this account. And so just trying to, like, the team quality is going to degrade a little bit, but I've had a few people use my defense from this particular account lately, and people just kind of break themselves on this defense, especially when you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much for offense, I can just destroy people, because most people have bigger accounts than me, honestly, and have more Galactic Legends, and therefore more firepower. Now, General Skywalker, he can be good on offense as well, guys, just because the thick Kron is going to make, I mean, 75% extra protection is really nice, and getting extra defense as well from those Krons can be amazing. On defense, it's also going to be fairly obnoxious. Maybe we'll be taking this off. I don't know what CLS's success rate against this is going to be. We'll just have to find out. But we need teams that can force your opponent to kind of get scared, and this is one of the teams that it's like, well, if you can't use CLS, then who are you going to use? Like, maybe the Ghostbusters, or more realistically, you're probably just going to use a Galactic Legend, and that's going to cost you. Like, you want people to make costly decisions, and that's one of the things about this squad, is that there's nothing cheap about it. Unless CLS can do it, that's fairly cheap. So jury's out on whether this team can actually do it. Maybe we do want them on offense so that they can take out Malgus squads, because it's going to be tougher to take out Skywalker in that case. Who knows? Qui-Gon team. This one, it's getting toward the end of its run, folks. Now, Qui-Gon with Anakin and Ki-Adi-Mundi will always probably be a thing on some levels, but I think that people have started to solve it and use like Inquisition against it and a few other things. But it's still, I mean, in lower calibers, it's still getting a ton of holds. And I mean, the magic guys in 3s, it's just those 3 that I mentioned. But you add Kenobi and Snips, and this team really just demolishes people. It's a little bit hilarious, in fact, how well it does. Snips especially goes crazy fast. If you read her kit, she goes before them. Remember, Ki-Adi-Mundi is plus 80 speed, and Qui-Gon Jinn and Jedi Anakin are both plus 60 speed, and so you want them all to be faster than your opponent's Bad Batch Echo. Let's see, 286, so another 80 speed is going to be 366, which is pretty good. And I don't know why he doesn't even have that defense Kron leveled up. What's going on with that? Let's just upgrade it. It doesn't have offense on it. That's what's going on. Let's just see if we can. Hey, look at that. You're a quick little man now. All right. He's not little, I guess. He's got. He's probably annoying to walk around for him. He's just like bumping his head on crap, like on signs and stuff. He's like, oh, I'm used to it. His Jedi robe is actually really hilarious. If you ever see any shows with him wearing it, it's like, wow, it's just a spectacle. So, all right, Darth Malgus here. I want the full bastard team. Like, so we have the twin towers now of Malak and Revan at Relic 9. Eventually I'll get my Malgus up to 9, but I've been working on Leviathan requirements, which I actually have everything. Sith Assassin was my last one, and I'm ready now. So I put Sith Assassin here. Not like the most inspired choice, but if you don't have, I don't have a ton of Sith that are really high relic. Like I think like Sith Marauder might be better here, but I only have him at like Relic 3 or something like that. So this squad is good. With Talon is probably even better, though Talon is really nice with Traya, so you know, you have to kind of navigate that, but this squad still does really good work on defense. You know, I'm very interested to see what the hold rate on this team becomes now that we have Malak or Revan, or if people just start splitting Revan and Malak off on their own team and having weaker Darth Malgus squads. I'm probably going to end up using bounty hunters to like double tap this squad. Honestly, if I see this iteration, it's very dangerous, guys. Scary squad, especially with Sith Krons floating around doing Lord knows what. It's just a mess. We have Radis on defense here. I love him on offense, honestly, guys. You run out of teams on defense, and you want to challenge your opponent and force them into some tough decisions. And so you have Scared Rebel Pathfinder here because you need a tank for this team. You have to have one in 5s, especially Scared Rebel Pathfinder. Not as good as K2. On my main account, it would be K2SO, but I don't have K2SO at Relic, so we have SRP here instead. Only at Relic 4 because it's hard to find bronzium wiring to spare for this little man, but this is a very good squad. On defense as well, people underestimate it, and I've won a couple matches recently where the people just couldn't clear this team because it's easy to underestimate, and then you can't just zerg it down. It's very difficult. Traya on defense, Very difficult team to beat on defense, especially with Talon making them all faster and giving them a turn meter. Savage is giving them turn meter. Like this squad, you can multi-tap if you want, but this is going to cost people a lot. If they have Riva, you need to keep it for offense, but if they don't have Riva, let's put it on defense, and it'll solve a lot of problems for you. Now, you can see I'm working on a Seer team. It's not finished yet, so it's just kind of a mess. Like we have Crew at Relic 1, but that's okay because we can't wear a Kron anyways because Visas is at Relic 0, and Seer, she has her Omicron, so I'm very curious to see how this does. She's only at 5 stars though, and so even though I'm double farming her, trying to work on, like maybe she'll be done by the next season, but one way or another, this team is not ready. I threw Night Sister on here because I have Riva, so I don't need Night Sister for the Riva squad, and this team, we're just gonna throw it in and see how it does on defense. I'm not sure, it might just be completely awful. We don't have like Fulcrum on here, like no one really does that much damage. I'm guessing it's just gonna be awful, but hopefully this Omicron, along with a decently geared Cal Kestis, should mess with them a little. Plus, we have a couple tanks. I think we'll do decent. Maybe we'll just have to see. It's going to be a serious threat to them, I hope. And all right, so I don't have Ray, and Ray would probably be on defense this season for me, honestly, because, I mean, she will be for my main account because of all of the thickness Krons out there. With the 15%, she's just going to be so damn tanky that some people are going to slip up. If you don't have Ray, you can do a weird Jedi Training Ray team like this, but you want BB-8 to go with Grievous a lot of times, unless you have Newt with Grievous, but even then, BB-8 with Grievous is so nice sometimes just because of all that turn meter that he generates. But one way or another, you have Jedi Training Ray, like this, just all the leftover guys. If you have Zori, like I'm farming Zori, it's going to be a lot of work to get this squad to start working because you need a couple Zetas for Zori, you need at least one for Rose, you want one for Finn, and then you want the Omicron for Zori, and then maybe you want the Omicron for Rose. But this is the best comp, guys. I will say that. When I was looking at defensive comps, this is the one that no one, like even like Tuskens just get demolished here, even with a good Tusken Kron. Like this team just does so much good work, even with well, that was probably with the Zori Kron, so who even knows? That's all data from last 5v5, but I will say that this squad does some serious work, and my main account has it. We'll be working on it. I don't know if I don't have the Omicron for Rose, but I think it still works. It does still do pretty well. Now we have a sortie squad. A lot of people have sortie because you've been working on Leviathan requirements, and you just throw in some random droids and call it a day. I know the Separatist droids, she has a few things against them, but honestly, I've found that the comps with Droideka end up just destroying people because people don't expect that much damage, and it's tough to get to Droideka sometimes. I didn't really do a good job of masking droid. Like you probably want like L3 here or something like that to help with taunting and everything, or BB-8 is really nice here to help with taunting, but this is just a bunch of random stuff. Wow, we have something here from Twitch. We got a chime, that's kind of funny. I don't know what the notification was because we're not on the right screen for it. That's fun though. Alright, so yeah, so this team on defense, just mod sortie to be really, really thick, and people will try to use their Wampas on you, and you can just as long as you have her modded for crazy high health and some defense on like a Kron or something, then she's going to be very tough for a Wampa to assail. We have the Geos, and they're just gonna be on defense and lose all the time. They're just not good, guys. My Geos are awful. You can see I got them to 12, and then I put barely any gear on any of them because they're not very awesome. I'll probably put this team on defense, honestly, and it's kind of embarrassing to say that, but I need some throwaway teams, and it's like, well, this could maybe mess with some. They won't mess with anyone, but I mean, Hux can at the very least stop turn meter from going, and I don't know, if someone gets too daring, then this team could win. I expect it to get exactly 0 holds, guys. So we have Princess Noosa, and she's I just happen to have the Omicron on Chirpa, and so should I put more gear on her? I have to put Zetas inside. I can't spare Zetas, guys. I can't spare anything. Right now, I can't spare speed for Peplu. This team might go on defense, though. I might try to make Peplu just a little bit faster, just to mess with people and see. And then we'll just see if Nisa just, Nusa just tries to time people out. Who really knows? And then on defense, I might put Kira on defense as well with Hondo, just to lock people up. With Hondo, it can mess with people. I mean, probably this team is going to be way better on offense, right? I mean, it probably, but at this point, like I said, guys, I put one serious bottom zone down, and then I put Jabba in the back, and then a couple maybe other semi-serious teams, and the rest are just somewhat garbage. And I'm not saying you need to place these specific teams, but I will say that like the last 4 especially are garbage for a reason. We need the offensive capabilities to be able to take down your opponent, because we're playing a little more efficiency style and we're trying to go for the full clear and to trip our opponent up in a few different places. That's what we're trying to do. It's like, well, we'll both get a full clear, but I have 3 Galactic Legends and you have 7. You have way more firepower than me. How can I even the odds? And I mean, that's frankly what it is me just making it so that I have a ton of offensive firepower. I can one-shot them, and if they stumble at all, then I can win, because they stumbled and lost, and, you know, I was more efficient. So it's kind of a cheap way to do things, but it's the only way you can do it at this GP with the kind of limitations I've given myself on this account. You can watch me on Twitch, of course. It's found, the link to that is found in the video description. Now, here are the the advanced teams, the advanced defensive teams. So you can see the Seer squad up top here. This is probably the team I like the most. I put Nine Sister out. Like, we have a couple tanks there, so that, I mean, the team's really tough to beat anyways. But Cal and Fulcrum, I even have a Fulcrum Kron, though I might just go for a thick Kron. I mean, the thing is, it's a split squad, so maybe I'll just go with the Fulcrum Kron one more time, and we'll just delete people, I guess. We'll see how that goes in 5s. Very interested. Of course, Malikos will eventually be there, but not yet. The Horn Chinian can be there. You can see the Finn squad with Zori, and I would love to get more relics on Finn. I really love the Resistance Hero Poe team, or character there, because he deletes turn meter on people, and you know, overall this team works. The defensive percentages on this team are obscene, guys. There's not many teams that can beat it, and everyone's like, dude, keep it for offense, you can kill General Skywalker, and I'm like, well, I mean, it does okay there, but why not just leave it on defense to be a menace and to really frustrate people? And then you can see the Sortie squad. This is a little bit better version of it, of course, because we have L3 there. We have T3, we have R2, all the numbers, and then Droidica, of course, is ready to just destroy people at Relic 6 for whatever reason. Finally, we have this Sana team on defense, and I feel like a lot of people actually complained to, like, a few people complained to me, and I saw a few other people just like lose with this squad a lot. And the thing is, you have to have the right speed on the team to be able to make it work. So you want Hondo to be there so that he gets first turn, because they're all scoundrels. He gets 75%, and the idea is to trap Bad Batch, because he'll go first, he'll reduce their turn meter, and he'll lock someone up. Hondo will, because he'll go first, and then you'll have Sabine go. She'll roll out her stagger, and then Cara Dune will reduce turn meter, and Sana will then also be able to do so, like, she'll put tenacity down, and then, I mean, it just wipes out Bad Batch. They can't recover from it. It's a whole mess. So for defense teams, so the Sana team is very specific, and it'll lose to other teams, but like, it's way harder to beat if you have the right speed. So my Sabine is like 330 speed. If you can do it, then great. If you can't, this is the advanced defensive thing. Get the hell out. No, but seriously, last but not least, on defense, we're putting Jabba down. I'm putting Lord Vader down because he gets so crazy tough and tanky to beat. Sometimes I think Kylo's just going to be a unit this season, and I could see him go on offense or defense. It's going to be a struggle to chew through all that extra health and protection on him with like off-meta stuff, so people are going to have to use some really good teams to be able to beat a Kylo team on defense. Maybe I'll be proven a fool for that mentality, but I think I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be pretty good on defense. And then finally, Rey is just, I mean, 75% extra health is just obscene, guys. And then she's using that health to, I don't remember if she pulls that. I think she pulls that health stat with lifeblood, so everyone gets even more. It's just going to be kind of obnoxious, guys. Anyways, that's it for me. What do you guys want to bring on offense or defense? Let me know if you like this format with the middle account or not. Would really appreciate that, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.